wow. Just wrapped up season 2 of Fallout, and I mean, it's unique. It's something, right? I mean, not necessarily saying it's the greatest piece of fiction you're ever going to see, but it's something, right? If you're looking to see if you want to get into this, we got giant scorpions, idiots in armor.
Ow! What the hell? Oh! I got boom! How about that there, huh? Yeah. Just kidding. Alright, okay, here we
Stormtrooper aim, rats exploding, people getting lost.
This way.
Oh, and a whole lot of
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
okie dokie. So before I actually get into this, I must say that I have not played the games. So this is all just an overview of my watching experience from the show itself. Nothing to do with connecting it to the games. So in a nutshell, we have two distinct plots going on at the same time. And you can break it down into, we got Norm and the Idiots, and the above ground wasteland daddy issues, essentially. And so with these two plots comes a heap of characters. And so I'll focus on one plot line at a time. Again, not going to go too far into it, but let's start with the Vault plot line, the Norm plot line / Vault 31, 32, and 33. All the bullshit. A lot of crap I can't say if I don't want to spoil it, but just want to give an overview of the concept of what's going on down there. So a lot of revelations are occurring based off of what happened in Season 1. We're figuring it out. We're freaking out. And we're dealing with the new overseers, and we know something is up. People are getting suspicious. People are suddenly dying and disappearing. Norm is dealing with all the people that are in on the plan. Again, they have their own little side thing going on. And then we have the main stuff in Vault 33 / 32 with Barb and Steph. And I really just want to touch on a couple of things here. So first of all, Barb seems like a very reasonable, not Barb. I messed up. I'm not even going to edit it out. Betty. Betty seems like she's reasonable and is not as corrupt as most of the people that were in on the plan to form the future and were, forced into being eventual overseers of the management of the vaults. But then we have fucking Steph. And Steph sucks. No spoilers, Steph sucks. I'm glad she lost her eye. I don't know how she lost her eye. I wish she lost both. I wish she'd die. She sucks. Chet sucks. Those two characters, whenever they're on the screen, it's ass, because they just suck constantly for different reasons. Steph's just kind of a complete piece of shit, and Chet's just kind of a bitch. And that's just kind of what you have to get used to when you're watching the show. I broke it down in my head of if it was a movie, right, a Fallout movie instead of a show, and those fucking characters came on the screen having a moment between the two of them, that's my fucking bathroom break, right? You ever beat a movie and you just gotta go? You're going. You're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not missing shit, right? And so we got that all going on, that whole dynamic. But I want to shout out one character in particular in the vaults. His name is Davey, and that man is the fucking GOAT. He's the comedic relief. He's a complete joke. He's a complete idiot. But every time he's on the screen, it's something funny. It's something dumb. And I want to shout out the actor in particular because I was looking on the Amazon's insight thing where it tells you shit about the actors. And just look at this guy's name. That is hilarious, bro. His last name is literally Leary, and his parents were just like, you know what we're gonna name him? Fucking Lear. Are you kidding me? Anyway, I definitely digress from that point. So the other plotline, the main plotline with our main characters who we probably prefer the screen time of, is all happening up on the wasteland. And that's kind of split into two plots that eventually converge at different points. Is Maximus and Thaddeus having a bit of a plot line, and then Lucy and Cooper having a plot line while she and him are in pursuit of her dad, who we know is up to no good, but we want to figure out where he's going, why he's going, what's happening, yada yada. Lucy's more in the dark than Cooper is, it's kind of evident, but we're kind of in the dark too with the whole cold fusion and what's going on there. But we're in pursuit of, again, if you haven't seen the show, we're in pursuit of this device that essentially stores infinite energy. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense how it works, but it just does. And it was created by Robert House, who is shown to be this infinitely wealthy man from the past, before shit went down, and he's kind of shown to be very tied in with the origins of this, but then kind of not. Again, not going to go too into it, but he's kind of like seemingly the orchestrator of all of this from our perspective. And so we are trying to figure out what Hank's connection is, Lucy's dad, what his connection is to all of this, and Cooper is along for the ride because he's trying to find his family, who he believes is where Hank is heading, right? And all of this is intermixed. The Robert House aspect is mixed in with this device called the Mechanical Man, where when you get it in, it's a little chip, and when it gets put on the back of your neck, it essentially wipes your brain and makes you into just some robot slave, essentially. And so the whole plot of when we're following Hank is he's trying to figure out how to make it work. And spoiler, but when it doesn't work, you just fucking explode. Your head just... And so you have to see that a lot. I said at the beginning of the video, the rats exploding, that the rats get used for that. Tough to watch. Poor rats. Rip. But that's what's going on while Lucy and Cooper are in pursuit, is Hank figuring out how to make it work. So all of that is essentially the primary plot that leads us into the final showdown, skipping a couple of details without giving stuff away, but like that's the point of the plot. And a problem is that there's a lot of just, not necessarily like filler moments, but just like, it just feels like, get on with it, right? Like we know what we're trying to do, and so when there's something that's kind of getting in the way, it's kind of a waste of time. But the one thing you got to give the show credit for is it is disgusting. I mean, if you watch season 1, you already know this, but if you haven't and you're just trying to get a fresh view, this show is so gory. I mean, they'll show, again, heads exploding, limbs flying off, like it, and they make jokes about it. Like, the show is comedically aware of what it is, and that it's not trying to be too serious. It has a decent storyline, but it also will poke fun at itself constantly throughout, and you gotta respect that about it. But there's a lot of moments where it just gets off track, kind of like me right now. And one of my big gripes with a lot of what happens, especially on the main plot line with Lucy and Coop, is she never seems to fully grasp the magnitude of the Wastelands. Maybe like near the end, but like I'm not even going to get into that, but just it's almost hard to, like, I get it, right? She's lived in a vault her whole life. She's raised to be like amazingly nice, and like everybody has a good in them, and seeing the best and doing what you do to others, yada yada. But there are just moments where she just gives a character too much credit, when everybody's like, yo, like, you're in the Wastelands, don't give them credit, and it always goes backwards. And so as a viewer, it gets frustrating when that happens, because it's like, yeah, you did this, it was stupid, and you're an idiot, and you wasted my time, because I had to watch you do this dumb shit that we all knew, the audience, that this wasn't going to work out. And so that definitely gets a little tiring. On the other side, though, when they are on track, in terms of the Cooper and Lucy dynamic, it is really funny, because they'll have moments where they absolutely hate each other, and they will leave each other for dead. And we see redemption from Cooper often when, you know, originally it was Lucy trying to be the good one, then he ends up doing the good stuff. And so their dynamic, when it's in fluidity with the plot and working out, is actually really fun to watch and really entertaining, because they're both unique characters with their little quirks that you just enjoy, and they bounce off each other really well. Jumping over into the other Wasteland plotline with Max and Thaddeus and the Brotherhood, there's interesting things going on there too. But not to give too much away, but just to go into a couple of like oddities with it is I didn't like how at the end of season 1, Moldaver is just dead and Max just gets all of the credit just for being in the room. And now he's like hailed as like the golden boy and the best, yada yada. It just felt really quick for me to go from, yo, what happened to your knight that you were with? It's kind of weird that he died and you just had his armor and he said he was fine, but it was actually you. Like, I just feel like the Brotherhood was shown to be too stupid at points in this, and they kind of get away from that and don't make me think it as much as we get along, but I just feel like there was something about that was just a little too easy. Like, everything worked out for him, and not that we don't want it to. We love Max, but like, it just felt too easy, especially at the beginning of the season. But Thaddeus's whole story arc of becoming a ghoul is pretty hilarious. There's a part where his arm just falls off, and he's like, hey, "This happens, right?" And like, it's just, again, the show has its moments where it's like it's able to stay in the plot without pulling you away from it, but being funny. And I think that that's a huge plus with the show that you've really got to give credit to it. But I mean, overall, I really think this season is like a super complete story that ends off with a clear and obvious what's happening next without actually giving too much away. So you like really have no idea what's going to happen, but you're like, yeah, a lot's still got to happen for us to, continue developing the story, and we know there's more to come. And I really like how all of the plot lines connect in different ways by the end or towards the end. And I just think overall, like, it's a really solid season with some stupid moments, but also some good moments where you feel like a character gets what they deserved or not. And I overall just think it's a good watch, and I think this is kind of one of those shows that if you like a shitload of action and a ton of violence, it's an easy. I mean, it's 16 episodes, and I think season 2 and season 1 are very comparable in terms of their quality, and I think it builds on season 1 very well. And so overall, I would definitely recommend it. And again, it's really funny. But that's the overall show itself. The part I really didn't touch on it's coming to me right now that is very crucial, and I think they did a better job in season 2. Not a better job, but it's more important in season 2, is the connection to the past. Because it sounds like, if you haven't watched the show, like, not a lot happens, and it's because half of the show really is lining up the past with the present, and like where these past characters were and how they managed to get to where they are now. And I really think the implementation job of here's what happened in the past and then like kind of coinciding the scenes together was really smooth. And I felt like that was like probably one of the highlights of this season, was just really giving you that context that you needed for a lot of these moments. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed the show. It'll definitely have moments where you go, holy shit, and other moments where you're like, okay, that's kind of dumb, but they do it their way, and you're going to get some hella good scenes if you give the show a watch. And yeah, other than that, if you watched it, let me know your opinion, and if not, get to it.